Are you struggling to use and understand verbs like acostarse, conocerse, and cansarse? Do they all really refer to actions we do to ourselves? Why do these verbs end in se, and what the heck are me, te, se, nos, and os? If you are feeling a bit puzzled about how to tackle reflexive verbs in Spanish, don't worry, you are in good company. In this video, we'll explore the different types of reflexive verbs, unravel how they function, and most importantly, witness them in action through everyday scenarios. As usual, I've crafted a story to guide you through their usage, making it a breeze to understand and immerse yourself in the world of Spanish reflexive verbs. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fluency Rocks. This is your go-to channel where you'll rock your language skills. I'm Carolina, a certified Spanish teacher hailing from Colombia, and regardless your Spanish level, I'm here to take you on an exciting adventure to fluency. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into our topic. The general idea is that reflexive verbs in Spanish are used when a person performs an action to or for themselves. However, we have different types of reflexive verbs, and sometimes you will see that you can't take this idea literally because it won't make sense for you. So, let's learn how these verbs work. First, reflexive verbs are like regular verbs, but they all end in se. And we must keep in mind that when using these verbs, we don't use the personal pronouns that you know by themselves. Yo, tú, usted, ella, él, etc. We use instead reflexive pronouns, and they must always agree with the subject in person and number. Let's take as an example the verb divertirse, to have fun. To conjugate reflexive verbs, we just remove the ending se and conjugate the verb normally, but placing separately the reflexive pronoun before the verb. In the first column, you can see the personal pronoun, in the second, the reflexive pronoun, and in the third, the reflexive verb. Yo me divierto. Tú te diviertes. Usted se divierte. Ella, él se divierte. Nosotros, nosotras nos divertimos. Vosotras, vosotros os divertís. Ustedes se divierten. Ellos, ellas se divierten. As you can see, the reflexive pronoun se is used for the second person formal in its singular and plural form, and for the third person in both singular and plural form. That means that sometimes when the context is not clear, it's necessary to also include the personal pronouns when we are speaking in order to avoid confusions. Because if you say se divierte, it can mean you formal have fun, he has fun or she has fun. So in those cases, it's better to say usted se divierte, you have fun. Ella se divierte, she has fun. Él se divierte, he has fun. The same goes for se divierten, which is the plural form. Now, when we have a conjugated verb before the reflexive one, we have two options. We can place the reflexive pronoun before the conjugated verb or at the end of the reflexive verb, attached to it, but never between both verbs. For example, me quiero divertir hoy. I want to have fun today. Quiero divertirme hoy. I want to have fun today. As you can see, the message of the sentence didn't change. Both options mean exactly the same, so feel free to choose either alternative. Moving on, let's talk about the negative form. In this case, we only have to put the negative word before the reflexive pronoun. Here we can see in the first column the personal pronoun, in the second the negative word, in the third the reflexive pronoun, and in the last the reflexive verb. Yo no me divierto. Tú no te diviertes. Usted no se divierte. Ella, él no se divierte. Nosotros, nosotras no nos divertimos. Vosotras, vosotros no os divertís. Ustedes no se divierten. Ellos, ellas no se divierten. Let's illustrate this using different verbs as examples. Gustavo no se enoja fácilmente. Gustavo doesn't get angry easily. Yo nunca me aburro. I never get bored. Nosotros tampoco nos quejamos por la crisis. We don't complain about the crisis either. Ustedes jamás se despiertan tarde los fines de semana. You all never wake up late on weekends. Notice that I used different negative words, however their placement in the sentence is the same, right before the reflexive pronoun. The most popular category belongs to those verbs that show the actions that the individual performs on itself. However, today I'll be presenting 6 more categories of reflexive verbs. The following reflexive verbs show actions that the individual performs on itself. For example, vestirse to get dressed, levantarse to get up, acostarse to lie down to go to bed, sentarse to sit down, maquillarse to apply makeup to wear makeup, bañarse to bathe, mirarse to look at oneself, secarse to dry oneself to dry out, cepillarse to brush, llamarse to be called, quitarse algo to take off something, ducharse to get a shower, ponerse algo to put something on ourselves, estirarse to stretch, peinarse to comb, lavarse to wash up. Now, let's see a few sentences with some of these verbs. Casi nunca me maquillo. I hardly ever wear makeup. Marina siempre se viste rápido. Marina always gets dressed quickly. Me voy a quitar los zapatos. I'm going to take off my shoes. Queremos sentarnos en el sofá. We want to sit on the sofa. The next category are those verbs that show reciprocal actions. In other words, these verbs represent actions that go both ways, from one person to another, showing they are doing things together. For example, amarse, to love each other, conocerse, to get to know each other, to meet each other for the first time, hablarse, to speak to each other, pelearse, to fight or argue with each other, odiarse, to hate each other, reconciliarse, to be reconciled, to make up. Here are some sentences with these reciprocal verbs. Roxana y Alberto se pelearon ayer y hoy se reconciliaron. Roxana and Alberto argued yesterday and today they were reconciled. Ricardo y Ernesto no se odian, pero tampoco se hablan. Ricardo and Ernesto don't hate each other, but they don't speak to each other either. Liliana y yo nos conocimos en marzo. Liliana and I first met in March. Mis abuelos se aman. My grandparents love each other. The following category belongs to reflexive verbs that show actions that happen by accident or on purpose. For example, olvidarse de algo, to forget about something. Romperse, to break by itself. Caerse, to fall down. Confundirse, to get confused. Perderse, to get lost. Dañarse, to be damaged by itself. Now, let's create some sentences with these verbs. Tengo que caminar con cuidado para no caerme. I have to walk carefully so I don't fall. El mesero se confundió y me trajo pizza en lugar de hamburguesa. The waiter got confused and brought me pizza instead of hamburger. Anoche se dañó mi televisor. Tengo que repararlo. My TV was damaged last night. I have to repair it. Now, there's something important you need to know. If you are not subscribed to my channel with all notifications on, you might miss my new videos. So, to keep getting more content like this, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Moving on, let's see those verbs that show a change of state or physical condition. Some of those verbs require a preposition, so it's better to learn the verbs along with their prepositions. For example, subirse a, to climb on, acercarse a, to approach to get closer to, mudarse de casa, to move to another house, alejarse de, to get away from, moverse, to move, ourselves, usually our bodies, bajarse de, to get off from, mojarse, to get wet, callarse, to shut up, enfermarse, to get sick, dormirse, to fall asleep, cansarse, to get tired, despertarse, to wake up, curarse, to heal oneself. Now, let's see some examples with this category of verbs. Ayer nos dormimos rápido porque estábamos muy cansados. Yesterday we fell asleep quickly because we were very tired. El gato se mueve lento. The cat moves slowly. Está lloviendo, pero no quiero mojarme. It's raining, but I don't want to get wet. ¿Cuándo te vas a mudar a mi barrio? When are you going to move to my neighborhood? Natalia se bajó del tren. Natalia got off the train. Now, let's learn those verbs that show a change of sensation or perception. Some verbs in this group also require a preposition, so again, it's better to learn them along with their prepositions. For example, acordarse de, to remember something or someone. Olvidarse de, to forget about. Acostumbrarse a, to get used to. Interesarse en, to become interested in. Asegurarse de, to make sure. Enterarse de, to find out. Darse cuenta de, to realize. Here are some sentences with these verbs. Me acabo de acordar del cumpleaños de mi tío. I just remembered my uncle's birthday. No hemos podido acostumbrarnos a vivir cerca del aeropuerto. We haven't been able to get used to living near the airport. Los niños se dieron cuenta de que vamos a hacer una fiesta en la casa. The kids realized that we are going to have a party at home. Me quiero asegurar de que todas las puertas estén bien cerradas. I want to make sure that all doors are properly closed. Our next category belongs to the verbs that show a change of status or social status. Once more, here it's important to pay attention to the prepositions that we must use with these verbs. For example, casarse con, to get married, to marry someone. Divorciarse de, to get divorced, to divorce someone. Graduarse de, to graduate from. Now, let's see these verbs in action. Elena se divorció de Gerardo. Elena divorced Gerardo. El año pasado me gradué de la universidad. Last year I graduated from college. Mis padres se casaron en enero. My parents married in January. The following group of verbs belongs to those that show a change in mood, and as usual, we must learn them along with their prepositions, if they need any. For example, tranquilizarse, to calm oneself down. Aburrirse de, to get bored. Preocuparse por, to worry about. Cansarse de, to get tired of. Alegrarse de, to get happy for. Entristecerse, to get sad. Asustarse, to get scared. Calmarse, to calm down. Enamorarse de, to fall in love with. Enfurecerse, to get angry. Divertirse, to have fun. Avergonzarse de, to get ashamed. Here are the examples with these verbs. Yo no me avergüenzo de nada. I'm not ashamed of anything. David se cansó de escuchar las mismas canciones. David got tired of listening to the same songs. ¿Te asustas en la oscuridad? Do you get scared in the dark? Ellos se preocupan por todo. They worry about everything. Okay, time for a story. I believe immersing yourself in plenty of listening is a great way to learn languages. To make it fun, I've created a short story to demonstrate the different kinds of Spanish reflexive verbs and how we use them in everyday situations. So, let's dive into our story. Conversación en un café. Mi nombre es Arturo y una mañana me levanté temprano con la idea de llamar a mis amigos para reunirnos en un café, ya que hacía 2 meses que no nos veíamos debido a nuestras ocupaciones. Mis amigos y yo nos conocemos desde la secundaria, así que sabía que iba a pasar una noche agradable con ellos. Yo llegué 10 minutos más temprano. Después llegó María y noté que no se había maquillado. Se veía mucho mejor así, al natural. Luego fueron llegando los demás, excepto Carlos. Unos minutos más tarde llegó y se disculpó diciendo: «Siento haber llegado tarde, pues me confundí de café. Pensé que la reunión era en el café de la otra cuadra». Le dijimos que no importaba, que todo estaba bien. Mientras charlábamos, nos acordamos de los días de colegio, cuando nos graduamos y prometimos mantenernos siempre en contacto, y en ese momento mi amigo Raúl mencionó que se iba a mudar pronto a las afueras de la ciudad para estar más cerca de su trabajo. Y, aunque nos alegramos por su éxito, nos entristeció la idea de que iba a estar un poco más lejos. Seguimos conversando y recordando viejos tiempos y de repente María le preguntó a Juan por las fotos de la reunión anterior y entonces Juan respondió: «Lamentablemente se perdieron esas fotos porque no las subí a tiempo a la nube y mi teléfono se dañó 2 días después de la reunión. Lo siento mucho». Le dijimos que no se preocupara, que lo entendíamos. Luego, entre anécdotas y risas, nos acordamos de las largas noches de estudio y de cómo, a pesar de los desafíos, no nos cansábamos fácilmente, pues teníamos mucha energía en esa época. Seguimos hablando por 2 horas más y cuando llegó la hora de irnos, nos dimos cuenta de que, a pesar de las responsabilidades, siempre encontramos tiempo para reunirnos y divertirnos como en los viejos tiempos. Con la promesa de organizar más encuentros, nos despedimos con la certeza de que la amistad perduraría, incluso en la distancia. Here you have it, a story to help you understand and use the different types of reflexive verbs in Spanish in real-life situations. Bear in mind that the more you practice, the better you'll become. Now, here's a key thing you should remember. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and turned all notifications on, you might miss my new videos and you wouldn't like that, would you? So, to keep getting more content like this, please like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below. I really want to learn from you. And if you are interested in learning more about the Spanish language, check out my video on mastering reporter speech in Spanish in context. It's great for anyone who wants to fully understand and use this grammatical construction in real-life situations. Click here to watch it and keep rocking your language learning goals.